Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm talking about my BookSwapAthon TBR. BookSwapAthon is a really interesting idea for a readathon. I really love it, and I saw this on Rachel Ray's channel, so I will link that down below. Now unfortunately it's too late now to take part in the BookSwapAthon because you needed to fill in the form and get your buddy to swap a book with already gone. So but you could still take part even if you don't decide to take part in the swapping part online. So basically the idea of the BookSwapAthon is lots of swapping ideas, but one of them is that we could sign up to be paired with a buddy and you would send that buddy a book in the post, and that would be the first book on their TBR, so the buddy swap. However, if you haven't obviously got a chance to do that, you could just swap a book with a friend or swap a book with anybody, a parent, or use the latest gift book that you were gifted to take part in that challenge if you want to do the challenges. So unfortunately my book is not here yet because I've been filming this ahead of time because I'm actually going away at the end of next week and I won't have time to film then. So you'll have to wait for my vlog of the BookSwapAthon to find out what book was sent me by my buddy. But I am going to tell you today the other books that are on my list. Well, sort of, because there is another hitch. One of the challenges is the TBR swap, and this is to change how you pick your TBR. So whether that is pick 3 books and get someone else to pick from them, whether this is to do a Twitter poll, whether this is to do it on Instagram, whether this is to spin around and just point to the nearest book on your shelf, you just have to be innovative and just change up how you do it. I've actually put a poll on Twitter for this, but as I am filming it, that poll is still up and I want to let it run its course. But I'm going to show you the 3 books that people have been picking from for that, and it will be one of these books that I will be reading, but again you'll have to wait for the vlog of this to find out which one. So the 3 books I've asked people to choose from is Everything Here Is Beautiful by Myra T. Lee. This book is involving the story of 2 sisters. I think there is quite strong strong themes of mental health in here. It says at the heart it's the story of a young woman's quest to find fulfillment and a life unconstrained by her illness. There is also a gut-wrenching story of the sacrifices we make to truly love someone and when loyalties to oneself must prevail over all. So there's this one. The other one I asked people to pick from is Mosquito Land by David Arnold. This is a fiction YA book, contemporary fiction, about a young girl who has gone to live with her father after her mother and father split up. She overhears a conversation that her mother has got a terminal illness, and so she runs away straight onto a Greyhound bus to go back to her mother, and this is about her journey there. And then the third one to pick from is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I really want to get to some more of her books. I read The Winter Garden and gave it 5 stars. I loved it. Everyone raves about this one, and so even though I think it is set over a war, potentially, yes, the Second World War, which is one of my buzz no-nos, I have heard that this is well worth the read, so this is the 3rd one that is on my list on the poll. So one of those will be picked and we'll find out which one during the vlog. The next is an unhaul swap. So this is to get a book from somewhere and swap it for another book, take a book back to the library and get another book. And so the book that I have here is from the library and it is for my book club that I have been doing with some people from work, and it's Death Acres, Inside the Legendary Forensic Lab and Body Farm Where the Dead Do Tell Tales by Dr. Bill Bass and John Jefferson. I'm really excited to get to this one. I read about this body farm in the book Stiff by Mary Roach, who I love, and I just heard this is really good and really readable. It says, in a patch of land on the Tennessee hills, human corpses decompose in the open air, aided by insects, bacteria and birds, unhindered by coffins or mausoleums. This is Bill Bass's body farm, where nature takes its course as bodies buried in shallow graves, submerged in water or locked in car trunks serve the need of science and the cause for justice. In Death's Acre, Bass invites readers on an unprecedented journey behind the gates of the body farm, where he revolutionised forensic anthropology. A master scientist and an engaging storyteller, Bass reveals his most intriguing cases for the first time. He revisits the Lindenberg kidnapping and murder, explores the the mystery of a headless corpse whose identity astonished police, divulges how the telltale traces of an insect sent a murderous grandfather to death row, and much more. And it's got photographs, which sounds interesting. So this is my one for that one. Next up is the genre swap, and this is to just swap up what your usual genre is for a different one. I tend to read across quite a wide range of genres, but one genre I don't feel like I've read very much in is contemporary women's fiction. I've read some this year, but not as much as I would have liked. So I have picked up Nowhere But Home by Liza Palmer. I love the cover of this. I just think it's really quirky and original. And this story sounds really interesting. It's about a girl called Queenie, or a woman called Queenie. She's been fired from her job as a chef for not allowing a customer to use ketchup. Now the only place she has to go is North Star, Texas, the hometown she left in disgrace. Maybe things will be different this time round. After all, her mother, notorious for stealing your man, your car and your rent money, has been dead for years. And Queenie's sister, once the local teenage harlot who fooled around with town golden boy, is now mother of the high school football captain. Queenie's new job cooking last meals at a nearby prison is going well. At least the inmates don't complain. But apparently small town Texas has a long memory for bad reputations, and when Queenie bumps into Everett Coburn, the high school sweetheart who broke her heart, she wishes her own memory was a little spottier. But before Queenie takes another chance on love, she'll have to take an even bigger risk, finding a place to call home once and for all. So I think this just sounds brilliant, and I'm just really drawn to this one to read. And then the final prompt is the cover swap, and that is to find the letters SWAP, which obviously spell swap, on the front cover of your book. Now this can be the title, this can be the author, this can be any writing that is on the book, because you would not believe how hard it is to find a book with the title and author where there is a W and a P. So I really struggled. So I found this book that has it on the cover. So that is History of Bees by Maya Lund. So we have the S in history. We have a W down here, which is in a little blurb from somebody with the W for wonderful. We have an A also in Maya, and we have a P here for the word poignant, which is also in the blurb. So this is going to be the book I read. This is set over 3 different timelines, 1852, 2007 and the future 2098. So looking at bees and how they affect us. So in the 1852 section we have a biologist and seed merchant who's looking into a new type of beehive. In 2007 we're in the United States and we're looking at a beekeeper who's battling against modern farming. And in China in 2098 it's a man who paints pollen onto fruit trees, which sounds weird and wonderful. So this is the one for that. So that is exciting in itself. I can't wait to find out what book my buddy is sending me, and I also can't wait to find out which book you all choose in the poll. But yes, how exciting. It's a great idea for a readathon. I'm dipping into a lot of readathons at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to this one. Let me know if you've read any of these books, which ones you recommend, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.